Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please tap that like and subscribe button if you enjoy anything nature related. But today we are going to be diving right in, talking about Japanese maples. How do you grow a bonsai Japanese maple? So, back when I first started bonsai in general, I actually thought these big bonsais like this one were just always grown in a bonsai pot. But that actually couldn't be further from the truth. It's a process over many years, and that's why bonsai can get expensive. But I never buy a bonsai as a bonsai. I like to create my own thing. So I grow Japanese maples from seed. This is one grown from seed. Potted up into this pond basket. I love to use these for growing them out, good aeration. But basically the gist of it is that the Japanese maples are grown out in bigger pots. And then once the trunk gets to a diameter you're happy with, it's clipped back. And the roots are clipped back and it's put into a bonsai pot. It does not grow in a bonsai pot. So hopefully that helps with kind of wrapping your head around how you could create your own bonsai. As far as talking about this tree specifically, in the last video I had taken this tree from the ground. You can also grow them out in the ground, and then grow them out in a big pot and then put them into a bonsai pot. That's what I'm choosing for this one. So I had taken it from the ground in the fall time, putting it into this pot and completely defoliated it and then trimmed it back a little bit. And a lot of people were under the impression that this would weaken the tree. Oh, hold on, my dog. Mido, come here, boy. Come here. So a lot of people were under the impression that this would weaken the tree if you were to defoliate during the fall, but the fact of the matter is that you can definitely defoliate in the fall, and you know the leaves are going to come off anyways, so it's not going to weaken the tree. It'll either just send the tree into dormancy for the year, or like this tree, I defoliated it and it got a new second set of growth, so I know that its roots are growing into this pot nicely, and it's going to have a good winter being up potted. Now, winter's coming on fast this year, so I actually suspect that this is just going to go straight into dormancy, this Japanese maple here. I'm most likely going to just not come out with that second set of growth, but that's completely fine. It's not going to weaken the tree for, many reasons. Main reason is just that when you defoliate a deciduous tree like a Japanese maple, it's just going to send its energy back down into the roots, and it's not going to need to take care of those leaves. So it's not going to weaken the tree in any way, and it's fine to do it. I wouldn't say it's necessary to do. You don't really ever need to defoliate them. If you want to do it like early fall, you'll get the second set of growth like this. But if not, that's perfectly all right too. I have one over here. Here's one that I grew from seed. So you can see that I have a lot of different Japanese maples. I'm growing this one out. You can see it's wanting to push new growth, so it might. Another key thing is, if your Japanese maple is in a pot, so if it's above ground, it's going to be a lot warmer temperature than if it was in ground, so it might be able to come out with that second set of growth just because it's in the pot. but I wouldn't worry about pruning or defoliating any specific time of year for the Japanese maples. I don't really think there is one that you need to follow like hard and fast rule by. I mean, I prune a lot of stuff this time of year. I just pruned this Thuja occidentalis down. Pretty nice little bonsai. I just pruned this Vitex down. And same with this holly. And I do a lot of, last minute prep work during the fall, because it's kind of like you're getting yourself situated and ready for winter, and when winter comes it gets a little bit hectic with trying to make sure that these plants don't die and these pots don't completely freeze over. So I water when I can. I'm still coming out and taking care of them. But yeah, I think I explained myself where the Japanese maple, it's very easy to grow from seed, and what you can do is grow it out in these bigger pots, and eventually you get it into a bonsai. I wouldn't really worry about any rules as far as like actually getting it done. Just planting in peat moss, perlite, vermiculite, sandy loam, a mixture of all those, probably evenly, and just let it ride. It takes years, but eventually you'll have a beautiful bonsai Japanese maple. The plan for this one is it's going to be a twin trunk, so I'm going to lower it to about here and then do a twin trunk bonsai. But for now it's grown out in a nice big pot so I can get a little bit thicker. And yeah, it's just, I like to super simplify bonsai, so there's a lot of rules and stuff you can get caught up in, but take all those with a grain of salt. I can go on for hours about all the stuff they'll tell you that's not correct with bonsai. Like, don't worry about overwatering because they have big drainage holes. Don't worry about clipping a certain time of year, because in Mother Nature things get clipped and things get cut all times of year. Things fall on trees all times of year. Doesn't mean your tree is gonna die. The thing about a tree is it's Mother Nature, so there's no hard and fast rule that Mother Nature's following. She's just following this pattern of like a cyclical, chaotic but beautiful form of just growth on these trees. And I've always envied trees, just in the pure fact that they can live on for millennia. They can live on much past our lives. And so don't think of your tree as too delicate. It's actually much, much, much stronger than you. And it's really not, when you think about it, it's really not even you that's growing your tree. It's more so your tree that's growing you. That's how I like to think about bonsai. It's to emulate Mother Nature and to not think about all these human rules. Really more so just think about respecting nature and respecting these beautiful trees the best that you can. So I did used to think about a lot of the rules in bonsai and the regulations, and it kind of made me get out of wanting to keep bonsai so much, because I thought, I have to buy this or I have to buy that. I don't like to spend money like that. I think it's counterintuitive to spend a lot of money on keeping plants, when really it's about just connecting with nature. So I got out of it for a little bit, and then I realized that bonsai is just to emulate Mother Nature. So it's nothing, you can go as far with that or as little with that as you want, but you don't have to follow a certain set of rules. If your plants are growing and looking good and you're doing it a certain way, then you're doing it right, you know. I'm not going to tell you how to do it. This right here, though, as a little bonus, if you watch to the end, this is only a 2-year-old bonsai tree with a deadwood feature, and it was created from a cutting that was about this thick. Then I split the cutting in half. It came out this side, and you really shouldn't be able to have a bonsai that's that mature looking in just 2 years. I mean, if you look at the back of it, okay, the back of it's just so, look at that. It's incredible. For 2 years, it's got that kind of motion, and the roots are gripping down into the soil. I mean, that's just beautiful. So it's going to come out. It'll keep coming out a little bit this year, then go dormant, and next year it'll come out like a bush and we'll train it more. But this is just awesome in a little bonsai trainer pot, and eventually I'm going to spend some money and get this one a very respectable bonsai pot. I want to do a bonsai heirloom pot. So yeah, that's about it that I have for, oh, let's go into the greenhouse for the final thing. Now the greenhouse is cramped and full of spiders. I grow rare fruit in here in the winter time, and like my channel says, I push all limits of trees. So in here we push the limits of rare fruit. We have rare fruit growing in zone 7 when it should be in zone 11, and we're about to taste finger limes, or Buddhist hand fruit for the first time. But yeah, I mean, that's what it's all about. You don't let certain rules dictate your growing. You know, when I always say keep growing, what that refers to is your growth specifically. You know, like growing in all aspects, not just growing trees, but grow beyond a rule or anything like that. You're so connected to your trees that it's above all of that. And you know, it might sound like some hippie hogwash, but I'm telling you, there's some truth to it. So if you enjoy this stuff, please tap the subscribe and the like button. I really, really appreciate it. New videos regarding all stuff nature related coming at you soon. Most importantly, keep growing, and peace.